Hey, what's up everybody? Rosie the Rascal 15 here, and today I'm gonna go ahead and start off by saying that I hope you're all having a great day, hope you're all doing amazing, I hope you're staying safe during all this craziness that is going around the world, and just to let you know that everybody out there is making sure that you're having an awesome day, including your favorite YouTuber here, Rosie the Rascal 15, but that's enough for formalities. I'm here to talk about the Resident Evil 3 remake that just came out this April 3rd, and I have to give another shout out to my good friend that let me play this game at his house when the game released. So thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. I know you're watching this video, so thank you so much for letting me play this game at your house because I didn't have enough money to buy this game. And I actually want to wait till I get a physical copy of the game, but that's a little bit hard to get the game physically during times like this. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the game itself. What are my thoughts on the new Resident Evil 3 remake? Is it as good as the original Resident Evil 3? No! Okay, I didn't just sugarcoat that, did I? Okay, let me go ahead and start this video on a positive note. It makes me sound like I'm already going to hate this game. In fact, I don't hate this game. I think it's a really great game. So why don't I think it's as good as the original Resident Evil 3? Well, let's get into the meaty greedy of the video, and let's go ahead and dive into the pros and the cons of Resident Evil 3 Remake, where it succeeds better than the original Resident Evil 3, and unfortunately where it falters a little bit from compared to the original Resident Evil 3. So, positives, first of all, obviously the game looks better than the original Resident Evil 3. It's so damn gorgeous to look at this game. Seriously, look at the graphics everywhere. Look at these screenshots. These are video game characters. They look like real life people. It's insane. Wow, how graphics have changed nowadays. You kids are lucky with the games nowadays looking this good. Anyways, yeah, graphics are amazing. If I'm going to give them on a 1 to 10 scale, they get a 10 out of 10. They're freaking outstanding. Then again, the Resident Evil 2 remake last year looked really good, and it is running off the same engine as the Resident Evil 2 remake, as well as Devil May Cry 5 and Resident Evil 7. So, of course, the graphics are great. Voice acting is superb as well. Performances are real good.
Door behind you, go!
Don't think about it. We're gonna make a run for it.
As always, Resident Evil games are notorious for having either bad voice acting or even when it's at its best, it's pretty cheesy. Thankfully, I'm happy to report to say the voice acting here is not really terrible, and it's actually really damn good. It sounds like you're like if you close your eyes, you would think you were watching a movie.
No, wait, please!
What the fuck?
He was infected.
He might have been infected.
Oh, stars, this soft. No wonder so many of you dead.
And what are you, UBCS? Killing your own people?
He would have turned. There's your sense of self-preservation.
Voice acting is great. Performances are great, like I said. Gameplay, it's fun. The gunplay is fun in the game. The shooting feels just as good as the Resident Evil 2 remake. There's a reliance on survival horror in this game that I just can't get enough of with the Resident Evil games. I just love how this game's about managing resources and making sure that you make every shot count and just trying not to get killed. And that's what makes these games great. And another positive I have to say is that Carlos in the game is actually better here than he was in the original. Because in the original Resident Evil 3, Carlos was kind of a stereotype. I mentioned in another video before that Carlos Oliveira in Resident Evil 3 is kind of a stereotype on Spanish characters. And here he's actually given a personality, and in my opinion, I think he's a really good character. In fact, I think Carlos here in this remake has become one of my favorite Resident Evil protagonists in a long freaking time.
It's alright, you're going ahead. I'm not gonna die on you, leave you in a cold, cruel, Carlosless world.
Okay.
Jill, however, I'm kind of in the middle with her. That didn't sound right. I'm kind of, my feelings towards her are split in the middle. Jill Valentine in this game, I think she's like her performance and her character motives are good, but I think the original version of Jill was better because there's some scenes in this remake where Jill kind of tries too hard to be very, cool, and she tries too hard to be harsh to some of the characters in the game, and it makes her character come off as a little bit pretentious and, dare I say, a little bit bitchy.
Next time, take the fucking hit! Good riddance.
But other than that, she's still a great character here. She's still strong, and she's still a badass character like she was in the original. But in my opinion, I think she was given better dialogue in the original Resident Evil 3. But yeah, and the Nemesis. Look, the Nemesis is just a big monster that follows you, and he's scary. He's just as scary as he was in the original. So yeah, Nemesis. Pretty much my feelings towards him are the same. Okay, so that's where the positives end. Now we get into the problems. Okay, so what are my problems with Resident Evil 3 Remake? Okay, so my big problem, and I'm going to get out of the way, is that they got rid of some stuff from the original Resident Evil 3. Now, I get that there's people out there that defend the fact that they say, well, it's a remake. They're going to remake the game, so a lot of stuff's going to be changed. I'm like, yeah, I'm down with that. I'm down with the game having a lot of changes because it's a remake, but when you downright get rid of stuff and don't substitute it with anything original, then I'm going to have some complaints, because Resident Evil 3 Remake gets rid of some cool stuff from the original Resident Evil 3 and doesn't do anything new. In fact, that's the big problem I have with this game. It feels kind of more or less, like it feels like a Resident Evil 2 Remake, but like a lot less shorter. I think that's my big problem with the game. It's just, it's not as lengthy as Resident Evil 2 Remake, or hell, it's not even as replayable as the original Resident Evil 3, which is my big complaint with this game, like I said, is that where it fails compared to the original is that they got rid of the life choices, because in the original Resident Evil 3, you were given a choice in certain scenes where you would change the outcome of the campaign, and that's what would make you want to replay the game again, because you would make different choices, and different choices would get you into different locations, different environments, and would change the pacing of the game. However, they got rid of it in the remake and didn't do anything to substitute that. In my opinion, that was a big step backwards. Another complaint I have is that they got rid of the Gravedigger boss, which was this giant worm. It looks like, if you guys ever seen the movie Tremors, it looks like the giant worms in those movies. They got rid of that boss, which I was like, what? Why? That was so... it was dumb. They shouldn't have got rid of a boss battle from the original. And another thing, some environments were removed, and I get it. It's a remake. It's going to do something different. And like I said, I do appreciate the game having some original enemies. Like, I really like the bug enemies. Now, they were in the original Resident Evil 3, but the bugs here, they do something really gross to Jill in the game if they grab you, which I won't spoil, but it's pretty nasty. And I really like the Hunter Gammas in the sewer in the remake. I think they're a lot scarier than they were in the original. Here in the remake, the hunters are a lot scarier and a lot more intense to deal with. Yeah, but other than that, I think those are my like legitimate complaints with the Resident Evil 3 remake, is that it just has some stuff that they got rid of that was questionable. Oh, and another thing, they got rid of the Mercenaries mode from the original Resident Evil 3. Instead, they decided to add a multiplayer mode in the game called Resident Evil Resistance. And I'm going to be honest with you, everybody, this multiplayer is not great. It feels very rushed, and it feels like you're playing a beta. It feels very bad. It's basically a bad version of, what's that game called? I was going to say Dying Light. No, that's another zombie game. Dead by Daylight. It feels like a bad version of Dead by Daylight. And unfortunately, this is what Capcom's excuse is for substituting the fact that this is a $60 release. And yes, you heard me right. This is a $60 release. And unfortunately, it offers less content than the Resident Evil 2 remake. And that's really where I have my complaints, is that this game offers less. And in my opinion, that's what hurts the game. But overall, if you can get over the fact that the multiplayer mode's kind of meh, and there were some questionable choices they removed from the original, this is still a great game. Like, at its core, it's fun, it's scary, it's got a lot of good action, it's entertaining, it's never boring. However, it does lack replay value, because once you beat the game, you don't really unlock anything other than just a extra costume and a couple of guns and items, and it's not really... It doesn't really motivate you to play it again, other than if you just want to unlock a new weapon or a new difficulty. Other than that, I'm like, I would have preferred some extra molds, or, yeah, pretty much, yeah, I would have preferred some extra molds. Anyways, I think this is a decent game, and it's really good, and overall, I'm going to give Resident Evil 3 a 7 out of 10. And that's my honest opinion, and my review for the Resident Evil 3 remake. Get it at a price drop.
No way!
7 out of 10. Get the game when it hits $30. Take care, everybody, and have a good one.